art isn't shite, how they say it in in the UK. If the art isn't shit, then it is going to hit. And speaking of the devil, we've got
Hey,
DeFi
yo,
Friends
sorry guys.
joining us today. Hello,
Sorry for
hello.
the technical difficulties, but hello, thank you guys.
Ibrahim, you are all
You
good,
can hear
brother.
me, right?
Hopefully, yes, we can. Hopefully,
Yes,
come
sir.
mid-date, there will be no delays and everything will be on time and prompt.
Exactly.
Very prompt.
This is just the learning curve, but I'm sure by the time we get there should be no issues.
Amazing. Well, we're happy to have you here. I know this is your first Twitter Spaces, official Twitter
Yes,
Spaces, right?
sir.
With DeFi
Yeah, we're
Friends.
excited to be here. We're excited to do our first external Twitter Spaces with you guys, and yeah, we will be the first of
All
many
right.
for sure.
Well, it's
Yeah,
beautiful to
love that.
hear. Yeah, I'm happy you're kicking off your press tour with old Jacob and I and our friends at Metaverse HQ.
Yeah, I'm likewise. Yeah, this will be a good informative hour. I feel we have been very I get mysterious on social media, so I'm sure there's a lot of questions.
Yeah, that's I think the biggest thing, right? Is you guys are a very mysterious bunch. Even I, we've had a 30-minute call, and I'm still like, what's going on here? I want to know more. So I think, yeah, let's just get it started. Dive right into it. We've obviously got like 30 requests already, so some questions coming up towards the
For
end.
sure.
And but yeah, I think maybe let's go into just a little bit about you. What made you want to start DeFi Friends? What is DeFi Friends all about? We can kind of take it from there.
Yeah, totally. So I'll start with sort of the inception story and kind of where we started, and I'll speak briefly on my experience, and I'll touch briefly on the team as well. But the there'll be a lot of more information specifically on each person in the team on the website and in kind of further spaces and Q and A's and things like that. But yeah, so pretty much the concept it was conceptualized in 2021. A group of us IRL internet friends. We were really united by our love and excitement for DeFi, NFTs, Web3, just the space. So that's really where the name comes from. We realized the experience that we had shared was really not uncommon. So we kind of our initial intentions were to build a community that celebrated our shared passion for the space, and then every member of our community, whether it's someone who just joined today or the founding team, they formed a friendship through DeFi and sort of the world that surrounds it. So in that sense, we're quite literally DeFi friends. So that's the kind of concept behind the name, and yeah, so kind of in that spirit too. The way we aim to build the project is with a strong foundation in trust, transparency, community-based decision making, which as a result, kind of our intention is to create a product that's truly one of built by the community and decided by the community. So yeah, so that's the name, like that's the name origins and the inception story of where the brand came from. In terms of my personal background, I can share a bit on that as well. So for the past 4 years, myself, I've worked predominantly in the collectibles space. So collectibles when it comes to retail and home goods and kind of everything in between, art as well. So I've built a series of retail stores. We actually have 7 stores across Canada. So I've worked kind of in the physical and Web2 realm with everything from designing and building namesake brands to building a team behind behind each store and the operations and before that I've actually shared, funny enough, this story with Jacob and Mitch. Before that, I was actually a developer, so I worked in front end development. I worked at companies like Shopify and built component libraries, and I actually am trained in or educated, I guess, in computer science. So before the last 4 years, that's what I was doing in my day to day, and kind of pivoted. So I've kind of got that dual experience with retail and product manufacturing and all of that, as well as the technical background. So that's the duality of the skill sets that I bring to the project and to DeFi Friends, and that's sort of what I'm working on in the project itself. I mean, as everybody knows, in a lot of these projects, people wear many hats, and we share a lot of, we're on calls throughout the entire day, bouncing ideas off one another, working through challenges together, and the lines of, who's tasked with what, especially when it comes to these earlier stages, is really abstract, and we've done that purposefully.
Awesome. Yeah, no, I love your background. You've got some really cool stuff, and obviously, well versed in what seems to be Web 2 and Web 3. I'd love to hear more about, you're talking about DeFi and Web 3 really interested you. What was it about DeFi specifically, or the allure of Web 3 that really made you want to dive in, quit your job and focus on this?
Yeah, no, totally. So yeah, just for clarification, I do still work. I still have like this company that I run, and that's still something that I'm doing day to day alongside this. But it does lead hand in hand. It gives us a lot of opportunities for physical activations, and the skill set as well as the network that's built is actually very much very much intertwined. But for sure, like what was intriguing about the space, I think this is something all of our founding team shares, is the fact that the space is new, it's young, it's moving so quick. There's so much room for opportunity. The sky is the limit. There's just a lot of there's so much opportunity that is exciting, and things move quickly, and you're able to kind of act and be on the front lines of things, and like actually participate in innovation. I think in a lot of coming from for first and foremost this retail background, in the retail spaces, retail, there isn't as much innovation. It's a slower moving industry, right? So I think for all of us, it was the ability to kind of be part of something that was moving so quickly, and it was so interconnected, and I think that was like the primary reason that we were definitely interested, and kind of were intrigued on an initial level, I guess.
Sure. Got it. So just to harp on that point, right? DeFi, like the word DeFi and DeFi Friends, uh, explain it to me as if I am an NFT, like I don't know, like maxi, if you will,
Yeah.
and my only focus is to turn one ETH into two, and I know jack shit about like DeFi, and maybe I heard of hot DeFi summer, but I have really no idea like what that meant. Like, what kind of components of DeFi are baked into this collection? Is it simply just the name? Did that appease you, or are there mechanics involved that sort of exemplify this like combination of DeFi and NFTs together, much like Wolf Game, much like Ugaverse, Metroverse, and like Crypto Raiders, Play and Earn? Can you talk to us more about that?
Yeah, totally. Very, very good question, and definitely one that's come up a lot. So like through like on our roadmap, and our intentions are not to do any sort of gamified staking or that sort of utility. That's not necessarily where the origins or the meaning of the name comes from. Truly, the name just comes from the inception. So, like I said previously, it's the way we all met as a team, and the way our community has been growing, and the interests that have brought us together, which is DeFi in the related space. That's truly what the name means. So yeah, it's just simple as that. That's. But yeah, if you have any like further questions on that, I can also answer that for sure.
No, I think that makes sense. And yeah, it's really cool that you're able to, kind of bridge the gap between those two worlds. Maybe you could talk a little bit more about how your background, how you've been able to leverage that in Web3, and how you're kind of building on that from here.
Yeah, for sure. So in terms of a lot of my background with what I've like worked on in previous projects or in my current company, as well as I'd say a lot like other like work experience in the past, it comes in handy, I think, primarily in secondary activations of the brand. So things like having uh, connections to actually manufacturing items, whether that's toys, whether that's physical apparel, from screen printing to embroidery, even understanding the differences between those and how to like source products and all those things like that. Also, the distribution of products is very challenging. There's a lot of logistical challenges, legal challenges, and all of that. And since we all know the Web3 world is so interconnected, there's people truly from all over the world participating. It is something that, although not a lot of people like to deal with, it is just a reality. So having an international brand that services people all around the world and produces products for people all around the world leads really handy in terms of that secondary portion of our, our roadmap and our intentions and our plans with DeFi Friends. So on that front, that definitely is a challenge. A pro. In terms of other people on the team, I don't want to also just talk about my own experience. We have a ton of amazing people working with us in a full-time capacity, as and in smaller and more part-time capacities. For example, Hexo, he is one of the co-founders as well, and he has a large kind of experience in esports, from owning, managing, playing professionally, and everything in between. So yeah, we definitely, like a lot of the community, including ourselves, have kind of deep-rooted interests and passion for esports. So definitely like activations that come from that. I'm not saying like making a game, but kind of interactions and activities and things like that that relate to the community and relate to our interests. We have like a lot of experience on that front. So if we want to do tournaments or kind of different sort of events and stuff like that. So so I think your primary question was, how does our experience, in Web2, Web3, in previous ventures and previous work kind of relate to what we're doing now? And there's like a lot more to it than just this. So if there was like a specific area that you wanted like to probe or ask more on, also happy to kind of cover that.
Yeah, no, I think that gives a good overview of everything and answers what I was looking for. Esports. So yeah, I mean, it sounds like basically what you're saying is Faker is going to be on the DeFi Friends League of Legends team in like year, something like that. Is that a good time?
I mean, I can say that we definitely have a lot of League of Legends players, Valorant players, a lot of people who are in our community that like to play those games. So it's kind of all I could say about that.
I love that. I mean, if there's any alpha you want to leak, like this is the time, right? So happy to probe a little more there as we go. But
one thing I can say on that is just a lot of the collaborative efforts we're trying to do with people in the space, especially if they have like a lens of like in their day to day, they're more focused on music or they're more focused on gaming, is to collaborate and do activations and fun activities for both our communities that are more related to kind of their primary day to day. So yeah, whether that's gaming or fashion or music, that's kind of our intention.
Okay, sweet. So it sounds like, yeah, you got a wide range of kind of connections or goals. And I want to get to the roadmap because that's where, you'll talk a little bit more about that, I'm assuming. But before we get to that, the real exciting stuff, let's talk a little bit about the closed Discord. It's been a big trend recently. It's pretty good in terms of, filtering that early community and getting engagement on Twitter and everything like that. Would love to hear, what made you want to go that way, and who's in the Discord right now? What are the vibes? What is it like?
Totally. No, that's a solid question. The reason we did kind of had the Discord closed from day one was, we put out some art. People really liked it, and we saw like a lot of interest in the project, and we were working at a pace where we were kind of taking it step by step. At that point, if we had left it open, there would have been potential for safety issues. It would have maybe grown at a rate that was unnatural, or would have been too quick. So we just wanted to make sure that we could grow our moderating team, our community team. We could grow with the community as well as as the project as well is growing because, as you know, there's a lot of things that happen in the back end. So it's not like, it's not like, we want to grow responsibly is kind of the key term that we've kind of continued to circle back on, and we truly mean that. So we're at no point we want to just let too many people in where you can't have conversations with people. We don't have proper initiatives or opportunity for people to kind of get access to the product. I mean, the project and stuff like that, right? So we're slowly growing the Discord as we're able to kind of scale our team and make sure everyone in there can have a good experience, can interact with one another and make new friends and actually engage in the initiatives that we're doing and events and stuff like that.
Awesome. Yeah, no, I think that makes sense.
And in terms of the vibes, they're amazing. Like the voice chat's always active. We are always hopping in and out of voice chats, playing games. We've got karaoke nights. We've got like DJ nights, game nights, community ran events. It's amazing. It's been an honor for us and honestly an absolute pleasure for us as well as we grow on the project and a huge inspiration.
So I appreciate you shedding some light there, and I hate to put on like my Bando hat, but have to. If you don't know Bando, he's the master fudder of Metaverse HQ. He's absolute king, and he likes to, pen test these sorts of conversations, especially with founders. And I do have a couple of interesting questions. I'd say the first is, as you know, WAGMI Interface is one of the most highly anticipated projects probably for a long, long time since September behind Invisible Frens. Invisible Frens had a post recently, I think about over 26 hours, over a day ago, basically saying that they are throwing in the towel. They don't know if they're going to come back. They hadn't even released their NFT collection. And I think it's curious because they posted their reasons why. And a lot of it had to attribute to the fact that their creative differences, or really just the three of them together as a team, were sort of like the creativity and the fun was sucked out of it. And this happened pre-sale. So I think my question would be, having heard that, this isn't a full-time job for you yet. This isn't a full-time gig. WAGMI Interfaces wasn't a full-time gig for them either. Can you talk about the well-roundedness of your team, or if it is well-rounded, can you talk about how you guys will pick, how your team sort of fits the gaps that you guys are willing to sort of focus on, and how do we know as a consumer that we're not sort of wasting our time, and you and your team are people that we can invest in both the short term and the long term?
Totally. No, very good point, and one I'm happy to speak on. So I kind of see three segments of your question. So project, in terms of like the project's long term, in terms of whether or not we're gonna get stuck at certain points. Or I totally understand and respect. Actually, really respect what WAGMI Interfaces put out, and they were being honest to how they felt and where they were at, and that's honorable in the space. So first and foremost, just want to note that. Second, I mean, it kind of plays back into what I was mentioning earlier. We are taking our time to make sure every step of the way we're putting out like enough information, transparency, a quality of product, whatever that product is, physical, digital. That we're totally happy with. In terms of the team, I know you mentioned myself working kind of, I have duality of my responsibilities. That's just the nature of, how I operate, but that's just me. The rest of the team, Hexo, Jin, Darren, Shampoo, all of the core team is fully dedicated on this. This is their, what we work on every day, including myself. My other work has been truly put on the back burner. And like I said, plays hand in hand. It gives us a physical backbone to work through, whether it's we want to do activations in stores, whether we need connections on that front, whether we need places to host events, whether we need production resources or whatever it is, right? So if anything, it's actually a supporting actor into the project, in my opinion. We're also totally, we're totally have no, the whole concept of doxing the team. I don't even think is it like it's not like it's not even a concept or something we can speak. We're fully like we have no issue with that. We're fully like you can find our names. We have no problem with that. We're sharing our experience with what we've done in the past. We're happy to share our experience. We're going to do a lot of IRL activations, before and after. So in that sense, we're truly building, a connection and we're keeping ourselves accountable as well by doing these things. So on that front, yeah, that's sort of like that's my sort of answer to the initial concerns. Just remind me. So the first concern is sort of the accountability as well as the long-term sustainability. I think there was a second or third kind of portion of your question. If you could just like remind me of that.
No, I think you did a good job, right? Because again, from an investment standpoint, other than it being a time rug, we also, we'd like to make sure that we're instilled with confidence to make a conviction play. And,
Totally.
Defi Frens, or really, any NFT collection project in the space, there's so much shrouded mystery behind who is actually behind the project, who's actually creating the art, and the fact that your entire team is willing to dox themselves, I think is a bullish indicator in my opinion. And I appreciate you again, just sort of understanding and being real with your bandwidth and how much the community, how much your investors, your holders, might be asking of you. So it's probably going to be a lot, a lot more than
Yeah.
you anticipate, I'm sure.
Totally.
But also on that point of art, again, as Meg Thorpe likes to say, if the art ain't shit, this is going to hit. So I'd love to talk more about that because um, hard to ignore the Pixelmon in the room, but sometimes what is being put on Twitter and Discord and used to create uh, FOMO, disgusting amounts of it. In fact, that you know adults will pay $10,000 for a JPEG during a Dutch auction might in fact be misrepresenting the actual product um, come reveal time. So I want to talk more
Totally.
about what does the art look like?
Mm-hmm.
Is the art that you've currently put out like representative to a T of what the actual 5,555 NFTs will look like? And can you speak to us more about the artist itself and how you are and how the creative process has been working with him or her or them?
Yeah, totally. So the first kind of there's like what's the creative process? How does that look like? That's one kind of angle of the question, and the second one is how does the art kind of look in comparison to what we've been posting. So I think that's that. Let me tackle that first, and then I'll take on the second portion of your question. So so in terms of we've been super mindful of what we put on social media in terms of art because the last thing we want to do, and we will continue to keep this like super high importance to us, is kind of under promise over deliver. So one big thing, right, is like all of the art we posted, other than one or two small snippets, were or teasers were fully static, right? But our ambitions, and I'm happy to kind of leak this alpha here, is we will have animation and a lot of it in our collection. But you don't see that on our social media yet, and that's because we're perfecting that process. We want to keep things exciting along the way. An animated piece of art will be more interactive and exciting than even just what we posted. And even what we posted already is at a caliber we're super happy with. So that in and of itself shows we could have come out the gate just with exciting people with that, but we're keeping that as something along the way, making sure we've perfected that process, making sure we can deliver at the caliber that we're happy with, and making sure there's fun surprises along the way because that's part of it, right? So on that front, I think that addresses the one concern in terms of what our creative process looks like. We have Darren as well as Shampoo. Darren is like our creative lead, so he conceptualized the idea with actually like a clay model and really low fidelity sketches. And Shampoo is the genius behind bringing our friend to life, and they work collaboratively. We work together. We have daily calls. We go through every single trait that's made. We have conversations about that. We have ideation processes where we're making a lot more traits than what will actually be eventually used. And we're very mindful of what we're showcasing on social media to be at the same caliber or lower than what we're actually going to put out in our final collection.
Yeah, really appreciate that. And sharing a little bit about that creative process and also dropping some alpha. We love some good animation, at least overwhelming, not underwhelming animation. I'd love to hear about the communities you are looking to partner with, other than the amazing Metaverse HQ. Uh, I feel like have you talked with Chubby Friends at all? Have you talked with obviously Kaiju Kings? Can you talk to us about who you guys are looking to partner with and sort of like collaborate with, and to what extent that
Yeah,
means?
no, totally. Yeah, 100%. So super good question. We are. I'm sure if you just look at our social media, specifically our Twitter, you can kind of tell what projects we're fans of. Um, yeah, I can't speak to any of that stuff in more depth than what I just said, but that in and of itself, I think, is a good indication. But yeah, we're definitely working. The vetting process of working with a project. A lot of the projects that we're looking to work with at the moment are like in the middle of like releasing something, so it's a bit harder to fully work creatively with them. But we've had introduction or even like secondary conversations with a lot of projects. So I'll just say that like all in any projects that we are going to be working with, there'll be like a creative process where there will be contributions from kind of both sides, and that's our intention. There might be some smaller activations we do just for kind of collaborative access to both communities, that might not be as fully kind of like a full end-to-end collaboration, but the majority of the collaborations we look to do kind of would require multiple calls and at least some level of collaboration between both teams, as well as like collaborative. Yeah, like that's on the project level. What I will say is you'll like, if you're lucky, you might mint a DeFi friend with a trait from your favorite project that's not DeFi Friends. And so yeah, that's something to expect.
When MVHQ trait, because that's my favorite project.
That's definitely in the yeah. I mean, you guys can speak on it, but we're definitely discussing that. So
That might be too much alpha, Jacob. We gotta peel that back a little bit, like an onion, if you will. Yeah,
okay, noted.
no, that's exciting. I think like co-branding is a really interesting. I think for everyone in the space, especially if you're looking to like have your collection, your art, your drop, your IP be taken seriously, and co-branding does help increase that network effect. So we're definitely excited for that one. I know
Just one more note on that point, if you don't mind me. Sure. I just forgot to mention this.
Please.
Cool, thank you. So two things. Yeah, like we've taken our time with it. That's what I really want to say. I know I've said that before, but I really want to reiterate that we haven't posted a collaboration. Technically, our first kind of activation or collaborative effort is this, and so yeah, really we're making sure that we can collaborate in a sense that truly is kind of on brand with both projects. And second, I'll also say that the way we also modeled our friend, our base character, it's really fun to dress them up in different outfits and themes and stuff like that. So definitely that is like a big portion of our intentions as well.
Yeah, we appreciate you, brother. And we're happy to, be having this chat to even begin with. We know we are your first. We know you'll never forget your first, and we'll probably spoil you. But, I want to touch back to a really interesting logistics point. So at Metaverse HQ, a lot of the times we're talking when we do a technical analysis on a project, um, the supply, the mint date, and also the mint cost is incredibly important, along with max per watt, all of that. Can we talk logistics for a second, as far as what you've hammered down, and for the things you haven't hammered down with yet? Maybe we can have an open discussion as to where your head is at currently. Do you have a mint cost that you're playing around with? Have you even thought about that yet?
Yeah, totally. Very good question. We recently announced our collection will be 5,555 friends. So we're definitely, the intention with that number um, is to keep it. It's obviously 5,000 is still a large number, but in the relative scheme of comparing to other projects, it's on the lower end of things, and we've done that, very intentionally. That being said, in terms of allocation, our intention, I can't share like a specific number, but the intention is for the majority, so over 50% of the access to the pre-mint or whatever to be done directly through our community. And then the largest secondary portion would be for collaborative efforts, like the partnership that we're working on. So that kind of sheds some light on like it sheds some light on the supply, as well as how that supply is being distributed. Our intention truly is to not overextend ourselves and to have the largest kind of holder. Like we would like for as many unique holders as possible, and unique members of the community. In terms of a price, I can't really speak to that at the current moment. Our intentions are to launch at the end of March, but definitely we will keep everybody posted as things go. If things change, that will be made very clear, and a reason to why we change things or why things are extended or delayed will obviously be also shared externally and internally. And so closer to then, we can give a longer explanation of how and what we kind of come to for a mint price.
Cool. Yeah, appreciate the the transparency, or at least what you could share right now. I think the current market sentiment, the fatigue of these like tireless Dutch auctions where we just enjoy punishing ourselves, it's really being felt right now. So I'm pretty, I have no doubt that you guys are aware and will continue to just stay dynamic and open-minded, especially as more and more new people are coming into the space. I mean, we're sort of smelling the hopeful eventual release of this ever so promised Coinbase NFT marketplace, which should onboard a bunch of new normies. And I think it's really important for people that are coming into the space to have a really positive experience, really positive first mint, and hopefully you guys are timed quite perfectly, in fact, to have a good advantage there in the market. I want to now bring to attention, Jacob, you can help me because I'm not a co-host for some reason. I'd love to start bringing people on for questions. You've got a ton of community members here, and I know there's a lot of requests, and we're already at the past the half. But before we do, as Jacob brings them on, and feel free, if you have a question, either for us, either for Defi Frens, or just have some thoughts, feedback, idea on what we talked about just now, raise your hand, request to speak. Jacob and Poopaloop, who runs the Metaverse HQ account, will be happy to bring you up. But I'd like to start with this one. So on my point of onboarding, new people into the space, being able to be that access point that gives them, a positive sentiment, a positive taste when it comes to NFTs. Can you talk about your educational component? Can you talk about what you guys are doing what your team is doing to onboard new people, perhaps new mentors into the NFT space, if at all?
Totally. So you're speaking predominantly on the onboarding process of the mint side, not necessarily like internally on our community team or our moderators or anything like that.
That's
correct?
right. That's right. Like, let's just say I've never minted an NFT before. I've never been rogued in my life. I don't know what Pixelmon is.
Yeah.
I heard JPEGs are fun and they're cute, and I've been seeing the cats everywhere, and I want to get involved, but I don't know where to start. How are you and your team providing that educational aspect?
Yeah, totally. That's a great question. So, obviously, informally, questions in our Discord are always, that's the point of growing in this capacity and bringing on more and more community and moderators, so that like any and all questions related to that can be addressed informally, obviously through different sub channels and the general channel as well in our Discord. But more formally speaking, the way we intend to collaborate with more individuals in the space, educators, different types of individual partnerships versus collaborations with other projects, is to do educational lens, whether that's internal kind of office hours within our Discord where we talk about an intro to NFTs or everything in between, things to look out for, whether that's through Twitter Space activations, whether that's through Medium posts. That is the lens we're taking, especially when we collaborate with individuals, because I think that's a win-win. You provide access to a new group of a community into the DeFi Friends space, as well as provide some sort of educational element to that activation.
Awesome. Well, we got some great questions coming up, I'm sure. Brought some people up from the audience. We will start with Danny Ocean. You were one of the first to request, so let's see what you have, buddy.
Hey guys, thanks for having me. Well, nice to hear you guys, Defi Frens. It's been so dope. I've been trolling your Twitter space trying to get that Discord code, and I finally was able to get in. And just seeing the community this is amazing. You guys, it's like buzzing. This is the general chat right now. I'm trying to like inform the people of everything that's happening here. I had two questions. So seeing some of the sneak peeks, I see there's kind of some like party vibes, like party boy vibes. Like, how would you age these DeFi Friends? I see one with like a booze hat, one DJing.
Yeah, totally. First of all, welcome. Thank you. Appreciate the kind words. And yeah, so the intention with a lot of the traits and the eventual look is the base friend is a very cute character, right? And so we're going to be sprinkling in some spooky traits, some more fun traits, some more adult traits, just a larger mix. And that's kind of the beauty of it. You can get the diversity in the art. So we're definitely keeping that in mind. And, just understand too that there's only been a small sprinkling of art sneak peeks. There's a lot more to come. And with our website releasing in the next 48 hours, there'll be some additional kind of context on the art, as well as throughout the week we'll be posting a couple other things as well, so kind of stay tuned to that. But we're very mindful of having a larger range of traits that kind of play to different emotions and different themes.
Totally, and they're super cute. My next question is, can we expect some lady DeFi Friends?
Yeah, totally. That's a very good question. So our DeFi Friends are gender ambiguous, so they're referred to not as he or she, but they. So we will have a multitude of skin tones as well as hairstyles, and so that's kind of that's the intention with the eventual art, and you will see more sneak peeks and renderings of those on social media this week, as well as on our website.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Is Jin? I don't know if Jin's listening, but I saw that he was meeting some people at the Bao restaurant.
Yes.
I was like driving. I was in Brooklyn, but if it was during the weekday, I would have totally ran up and said hi, because my office is actually right there.
It was crazy. There were so many people that showed up. Jin is our community king. He's amazing. We love him all. We love him, and we're gonna definitely do more of that. I'll be doing stuff like that in Canada, because that's where I'm at. And yeah, the rest of the team will be doing more sort of fun activations.
Yeah, super fun. Well, thank you for the time.
Appreciate the question.
Yep.
Yeah, excellent question, Danny. Appreciate you listening in. And next we will go to Peerless, and then King Beto, and then Farhan.
Awesome. Thanks for letting me speak. Longtime MVHQ member for life. These Twitter spaces are amazing. You guys definitely hand pick partners. MVHQ doesn't just partner with anyone. So I always enjoy hopping in. So I heard you speak about DeFi Friends and, the experiences the team has and the potential it could potentially have or whatnot. To me, it sounds like, these neat, cool looking PFPs with brandability. But at the end of the day, when it comes to a brand, I mean, it needs to stand on something. Like, I know you mentioned, we want to make this a community-driven project and so forth, and maybe it becomes like a brand. You guys can do things with physical product and so forth. But at the end of the day, behind any brand is a foundation, right? Like, you look at Nike and you look at all these, whatever brand you're looking at. I mean, they started somewhere, and then they built into something bigger. Regardless if you're trying to be like, let the community decide or whatever. I mean, obviously there needs to be some guidance and a path. It can't just be completely open-ended. So I would like to see if maybe you can harp on like what that foundation looks like and what's the primary focus.
Totally fair. Great question. So I kind of have two responses. So the initial response, I'll speak on a high level to more of what we're doing because we've only kind of focused on the merchandise aspect of things. This will all be also outlined in like slightly more detail on our website. But yeah, merchandise is one portion of it, whether that's toys or whether that's physical wearables. That's just one portion of it. Also accessories, household goods, things of that nature. So kind of all under that bracket. We're also intending on doing larger format physical activations of the brand to be fun initiatives where the community can meet one another and contribute, things like statues that are markable, that can be erected in different cities, places, events, as well as IRL events to meet fellow friends, to actually directly engage with interests outside of just NFTs. Examples that were given are fashion, anime, gaming, food, etc. And then as well, of course, on the post mint kind of and even pre mint, having sort of holder giveaways, bringing like I'd mentioned before, collaborative efforts where we can bring access to other communities and other projects. That's obviously not that's not uncommon for projects to do, but something we're also going to be doing. The community aspect of voting on things or helping make decisions is a portion of it, but of course, like the team that is behind the project now will continue to be the team past that, as well as we will be growing the team and hiring formal roles that will help kind of see these things into fruition. So of course the team will still be the driving force to making sure things are completed. It's more just in terms of like placement of things or design choices or location, stuff like that. That's a lot of the more community-based decision making aspect of things. We also intend on publishing source files for a lot of our art to kind of open up collaborative efforts with other artists and creators and doing things like revenue sharing, etc., as well as exploring film, be it in short or large formats. So that answers a bit more of like the level of activations or the depth and the width of everything that we're kind of intending on doing. Of course, like you said, brands like Nike started foundations. However, we are a Web3 focused brand when it comes to the initial inception of the brand, right? So our initial offering, our initial product, or our initial our initial product is really one that lives through an NFT, and that's what will enable kind of these additional other things. So just like a lot of other Web3 based brands seen their inception and have seen their kind of initial activations and initial offerings, this is kind of how we will follow suit.
All right, awesome. Thank you very much.
Cool. Thank you for your question.
Thanks for your question, Peerless. Always appreciate having you up here. MBHQ for life. Next up, I think it's King Beto. Hopefully, I'm saying that right.
Yep, that's fine. How you guys doing today?
Doing great, man. Good to have you here.
Thank you for bringing me up. I just had two quick questions. I've seen the project on Twitter for the last couple weeks. I've been trying to get into the Discord. Haven't been lucky enough. Just wondering, you said earlier you were trying to keep it step by step with the community, keep like the numbers manageable. So is the team ready to open the floodgates for the Discord and like open it to the public? And then my second question would be, is the project have some sort of like utility, like a marketplace or like a play to earn or like staking, rather than just focusing on art for the community members?
Yeah, certainly. So to address your first question, at the current time, we have around 5,000 members in our Discord community, which is a number that we're happy with at the current moment. We're not really able to scale that aggressively at this point. We want to make sure people, like I said previously, can still interact and it doesn't get overwhelming. So we will not be opening the Discord publicly at the current moment. So it would likely be something we would do closer to Mint, and the primary reason being there was usually a lot more misinformation around that period of time. So we would want to make sure that everyone is, as safe and as informed as possible, and that's something that we would consider closer to then. But at the current moment, we don't have the intention of doing that right now. In terms of additional utility for holders, with something like staking or kind of play to earn or something like that, that's not within our roadmap, not something we intend on doing. So yeah, hopefully those answer your questions.
Yep, perfect. Thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah, great questions there. And Farhan, looks like we got you back up here, so you are up next, sir.
Yeah, hey, my question is mostly just, so I'm new to the NFT space. This seems like one of the projects that's like really buzzing. So I'm wondering, like, what do I have to do to secure a whitelist or be able to mint the actual project?
Totally, that's a great question. Thank you, Farhan. Right now, we are doing external giveaways and contests. The first one we did was our fan art contest. We will be doing other contests, like I said, potentially within the gaming sphere, music sphere, that will help get kind of friend list access to external people who aren't within our Discord. And if you're in our Discord, it's purely just engaging in the community, being someone who is helpful to newer members, just interacting with one another. We're not doing any we're not looking at analytics of how many posts you make or how many minutes you are in voice chat. It's a lot more natural. We've explicitly chosen and hired and brought on moderators and team members from different time zones, so we can kind of make sure that we have people monitoring and engaging and answering questions at different periods of time, and we can be inclusive in that nature. So yeah, there's like two kind of main ways, whether it's within the community or within external sort of activations or events and things like that.
Gotcha. Does that answer your question, Farhan? Do you have anything else?
Yeah, no, I think that answers my question. Thank you so much, guys. Looking forward to invest.
Thank you, Farhan.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks for listening in, man. And we will go to Chai next.
Hey everyone, what's up?
Hello.
What's good?
So I just wanted to say, my question. So this project is literally one of the cutest projects I've come across, and I feel like we're all really going to identify with them, like whichever ones we get as our own, like little babies because we minted or whatever the case is. Do you guys have any plans to grant IP rights to holders in the future?
Yeah, totally. That's a great question. We're definitely exploring that. Like I kind of hinted at earlier, there is some traits that will be in our own interpretation, and of course with approval from other projects. in the collection. So we're just trying to figure out the logistics behind that. But yeah, our intentions totally will be to grant rights in some shape, way, or form to holders, and as much as possible.
Okay, cool. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's a fantastic question. Something that I think super important for the long-term health of a brand most of the time. So thanks for coming up and asking that.
And I guess just to add quickly to that, I touched on this previously, but source files, our intention is to make them as accessible in as many ways as possible. So that kind of adds to that, and how that's rolled out specifically kind of will come with time, but that's, again, our intention as well.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thanks for your question, Chi. And we will go to Anjali next, and then Lambodor.
Hi guys, how are we all?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. So I was just like scrolling through my Twitter one day, and I just like came across this project. And like the previous speaker said, like I just really liked the art. I thought it was very like crisp and clean, and that's what really draws me to projects, is like how does the art look? And I just wanted to ask, like I'm not in the Discord, so could you let me know more about the artist behind it and what's inspired the art?
Yeah, totally. So, so in terms of the inspiration, I briefly touched on it at the start. Darren and Champu, Darren's our creative lead, Champu's the 3D artist. They conceptualized the idea truly through an actual clay, um, like an actual clay little model in person. So if you can kind of look, if you zoom in, you can see that we've textured. Obviously now everything is done in 3D programs. We use Cinema 4D, as well as a mix of some other 3D programs to produce the art. But you can look in, and the way it's been textured is you can even tell there's like fingerprints at different places, and it really has that kind of handmade feel. So yeah, really, like, it came from a physical world art, and then we kind of brought it into the digital world.
No, like I looked at it and I was like, this looks really realistic. Like I hadn't seen anything like similar to this before, so it really intrigued me.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you. So yeah, we're definitely making sure that it has that kind of real feel to it. And that's really part of I think what makes us unique as well.
And do you guys reckon like maybe this art and this archetype, are you gonna probably like take it more into the future and do something with it in the like within the roadmap?
Yeah, in terms of, I've spoken to this a couple of times. Definitely want to bring it into the real world. We draw inspiration from Funko Pops and Bear Bricks. So, I mean, physical, actual different sizes and finishes of actual physical toys. But in terms of, if you're asking about within the Web3 world, I mean, that's definitely our intention. We're focusing on making sure that these 5,555 friends can come to life in the way we've imagined first. So I can't really speak to that yet, but definitely our plan is to continue to build and create in the space as well as in the physical and Web2 realm.
Oh, thank you. I'm really excited, so I'll keep on following.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, great question, Anjali. Glad to have you up here. I'm glad you're tuning in. Hopefully, we can get you in that Discord soon. And yeah, we will move on to Lambodor now.
Hey, what's up, fam? How y'all doing?
Hey, I recognize your name from the internal AMA. You got a Defi Friend.
Yeah, man. Yeah, definitely, man. I'm always up in the AMAs, definitely trying to get more information on the community and, in the Discord daily, just soaking it up, man. I just appreciate what y'all are doing there, man. Like you say, everybody's wearing the hat of DeFi, man, and they're so engaged and so active in the community, and just so much stuff going on. It's always, hey, come do some karaoke here, play a game here, a game night or something, man. It's just really, really amazing. And I just appreciate being in the community. I heard us kind of talking about earlier, well, and also appreciate the questions everybody came up and asked. That was really enlightening, if we've been listening. So we got a lot of hints. And I heard you guys kind of hint about the partnerships and everything. And, you were talking about things that have kind of been told earlier. Then you put the can we just talk about a little bit more about the kaiju collab or what that would look like or just how that's gonna work?
Yeah, totally. First of all, I gotta give you a huge shout out. Lambo Doors actually hosted our first community poker event, so super huge shout out to you for that, and thank you for doing that and running that. And thank you for being here and being in our other AMAs and asking questions and always contributing. So shout out to you.
Thank you, ma'am. I appreciate you.
Of course, we appreciate you. And then in terms of answering your question, in terms of how we will roll out or speak on collabs, like I said, that we would love to share as much as possible. We also just have to be mindful of the other teams and the other founders that are kind of involved in the process. So definitely, we feel a lot of people resonated with the kaiju art, one of our favorites as well. We're huge fans and huge supporters of everything they've been doing. They've been recently busy with the mutant kaijus, so sometimes different timing is challenging to kind of lock things in. Our intentions are definitely to work on something with them and other projects as well, but nothing more that I can share at this time. In terms of how we're going to roll out project collaborations and things of that nature, there will be ones that are very straightforward that we share internally, externally, just in more traditional means. But definitely where we can, we want to kind of plant Easter eggs in different content in different places where it can kind of hint at collaborations. And for those who kind of find it, there might be some incentives as well. That's something we definitely are intending on doing. But yeah, past that, nothing more to share at this time.
Oh man, I was trying to get you to drop some alpha on it, man. I didn't know if you were going to or not, but I had to come try, man. I appreciate you bringing me up.
I appreciate. I wish I could. There's some things I just can't speak on. It's just not my. Yeah, it's not within my abilities to speak on at this current time.
For sure. Thank you. I appreciate you.
Appreciate you. Thank you so much.
A man after my own heart. We love we love trying to get those alpha leaks, so I respect it heavily. Thanks for the question. We really appreciate it. We will go to Adengard next.
Hi everyone, am I clear?
Yes, sir. We can hear you.
Bristol.
When I discovered the Defi Frens, it's like like Dragon Ball because I'm interested in DeFi and NFTs. It's like a multiple. I'm just one easy question. What do you guys planning to launch strategy? I mean, some projects like making like Dutch auctions. Some projects are starting with the public. We saw too many options in the February. I just wondered that what is the DeFi Friends strategy in the large?
Oh yeah, totally. Definitely, our intention is with as well as I mentioned earlier, our supply is 5,555 friends. So our intention with doing that and seeing as our Discord community already has 5,000 people, our intention is to give the majority of the access, which is over 54% of the allocation, to our direct community that will have access to. It wouldn't be through Dutch auction or anything. It would be just one mint price, and they would have plenty of time to mint in their period of time. That's sort of our intention for now. We don't foresee a Dutch auction, at least not for any majority of the supply. Things could change, but it's very doubtful. Again, our intention is primarily to offer the access to the community at a fixed price.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Totally.
Thanks
Thank you for the question.
Event. Yeah, you're welcome.
Awesome. Another great question there. And let's see. We're coming up a little past the hour mark here. How many more questions do you think you want to go for? Do you have time for?
Myself? Oh yeah. We're open. Happy to continue to answer questions. I'm not sure how many. I can't see how many people are waiting to answer questions.
There's
ask questions.
Lot
sorry.
Waiting. There's a lot of people waiting.
But yeah, hello guys. We can do a couple more and see where we're at. Sorry.
Hey, Nikki, we got you up here. How you doing?
What's up? I'm doing good. I did not expect you guys to bring me up so fast.
Nikki,
Oh
what's
gosh.
up, bro?
What's up? What's up? So I just want to speak for everybody coming from Metaverse as a community member from Defi Frens. I just want to talk about the team specifically. They are like one of the best teams I have ever found in this NFT space. Like the level of genuinity they have. Like Jen is just one of the best community managers. Like everybody in the server loves him. Everyone goes crazy in general chat. Even with the mods too. Selena, they just brought her up to moderator. It's a great team. Just want to say that community here is great. You guys should really consider joining. Have that tweet decks open. Wait for that invite posted because it's worth it. It's not impossible to get whitelist here either. It's definitely in the realm of possibilities if you take 20, 30 minutes out of your day, just come here, talk, make friends, hop in voice chat, play some of these games. It's possible. But okay, I'm gonna get to my question. So can we see anything in the future in terms of charitable events that we can do as defined?
Yeah, totally. First of all, Nikki, thank you for coming up here and showing love as well as talking with the community. We appreciate you. Jin, I'm chatting with him on Discord right now. He sends a lot of love to you as well, and hopefully we can have him up here in a similar type of AMA in a future spaces. But to answer your question totally, I think some of our kind of collaborative efforts with like projects primarily will have the lens of charitable efforts. We also just have to make sure that there's alignment on the other side, that that's something that they're interested in doing and making sure it makes sense. But regardless of whether or not we do it through collaborative efforts with other projects, we still intend on doing that. I can't speak to like a specific example of exactly what we're going to be doing, but it is within the roadmap. And it is something that I think we would really hope that us as a community can decide where we can kind of attribute those and kind of in what type of activations. But yeah, that's definitely something we would do closer to mint, and for sure totally post mint as well.
Okay, that's awesome. Because I forget Relief. I'm sure you guys heard of that. They just pretty much the first Web3 effort in terms of a charitable effort, and it was just honestly very amazing to see how many people came together, how many people bought in, even to not even profit.
100%. I totally agree. That was a beautiful example of the power of the community and contributing back in like a very positive way, right? So we were totally inspired by that, and we will 100% be doing something in a similar vein.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
Appreciate you, Nikki.
Yeah, great question, Nikki. Thank you for your time and appreciate your support of the team. We've got Naya by Night up next, and then we'll go to Judy Bands after that. Can you hear us, Naya? All right, we'll keep trying with Naya in a bit, but Judy, I know you're ready. So
hey, how we doing? You guys can hear me clearly?
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, real quick, just want to say shout out to the DeFi Friends team, all the founders, the mods, the community. I've been lucky enough to be an early friend in the server, and I've had literally just an amazing time in there. I've met some incredible people who I talk to even outside of the server just on a regular basis, and I think they've done a really good job of creating community, which I think is what every project says they want to do, but not every project unfortunately achieves that. And I think they've achieved that early on in this stage. One of the questions that I had is pertaining to the contract. So I think unfortunately, we've been in this space, and after that kind of bull run in late January, we've seen a lot of contracts being exploited, and with very hyped projects, projects like this one that have, a lot of things going on. But I'm just not looking to get all the details, but just looking to hear from the team about how you guys intend to protect the community in terms of getting a strong contract. I don't know if you guys were aiming for an ERC 721, but just wanted to see if you can speak towards the contract, especially because you guys had mentioned, I know you guys have some other everyday obligations. So just want to make sure that, the community has some confidence and can get that reassurance in terms of that protection. Shout out to Jen as well.
Cool. Shout out to you as well, and being an early friend. Thank you. Totally a very, 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 very important question. And like I've outlined a couple times previous, is security, safety is of utmost importance. So definitely, we are working with smart contract developers, including myself, who not myself, but external auditors and developers who have experience building contracts. We can share more kind of closer to launch, as well as we'll definitely be making kind of it clear who's auditing our contracts, and security kind of measures we've taken, whether it's through Twitter threads, Medium posts, or internally through Discord. Definitely, the contract will be heavily audited. And in terms of considerations, I'm always looking for best practices. We have spoke with the team that are kind of upkeeping the ERC 721A library in terms of integrating that into our contract, as well as have been, speaking with project founders and team members that have had launches, like I mentioned kind of earlier as well, that have been launching recently to see what best practices, what tools, what kind of things have worked well and maybe not so well for them. So we kind of, I guess, have the luxury of kind of collecting information. We keep it all in Discord, and we have, like a lot of, we kind of like, take the best and what worked well and with other projects, and hopefully implement that as well for our mint and everything else as well.
Well, thank you for that answer. I want to speak on behalf of everybody. We have the utmost confidence in you guys in carrying out that highly secured contract for us. And I think we're all foaming at the mouth to have multiple of these in our OpenSea collection. So just want to say thank you guys for all that you guys are doing. We love you guys, and we appreciate all the hard work.
Thank you so much for the kind words, and thank you for getting up here and asking a question. Appreciate you as well.
Thanks, man.
Thanks, Juddy. Great question there. Appreciate your support. And let's see, Naya, are you back? If you were trying to talk, you were muted. There's a little mute button in the bottom left corner. Maybe that'll help you out. Hopefully we can get that figured out. Otherwise, we'll go to Liftoff. I know you've been getting rugged by Twitter a little bit, but we got you up here. How are you doing?
Yeah. So I just want to say, so I was in the Defi Frens Discord for a few days. I say around when it was 4K members. It was like the day before when Jin was out in Chinatown, and I'd say that was pretty neat to see all the people who went there within such a short amount of time. And I think those are the type of people in the community that are going to keep the project alive, because you usually have all those people who are grinding for whitelists, just trying to make a quick profit. But I think there's a little more to that in this project.
Thank you. Really appreciate that.
Like all the mods I've spoken to, like Selena and I forgot the other mod's name, but they all seem to be pretty active there, and it seems like a very good community.
Thank you so much. But, we're trying to definitely bring on mods who are first and foremost active members of the community. And then, us and the mods as well, we're always talking, looking at best practices, how we can improve things. There's a huge level of transparency between the team and the mods as well. So we really appreciate you.
And I've run into a problem. I'm trying to get back into the Discord, waiting for a link and stuff, because my Discord account got disabled, and I had that friends role, the one before, the purple role, and I'm kind of devastated because I worked real hard to get there, and then now it's just a challenge to even get back in the Discord.
Oh, okay. Definitely. Since you've spoken here, I just messaged the mods and our community manager Jen. We're gonna look into it. So just feel free to DM the Twitter now? Like,
Yeah, I DM'd you guys earlier.
Okay, cool. We'll take a look
and
at
then
it for sure.
and then I can speak in a ticket, inside there and explain everything.
Totally. We'll
But
definitely get that handled for
yeah,
you.
I'm hoping for a reply from you guys. But so I was listening earlier, and you guys said you had something with kaijus.
Oh, definitely no. We did no confirmations of any of that. I was just saying that we've noticed that it's one of our favorite
Mm-hmm.
art snippets, as well as clearly your guys's. It's one of our most engaged and interacted with
Mm-hmm.
posts. So we are definitely looking to work with them, but definitely not something that is confirmed or anything like that.
Yep. And see, you said something about like fidget, physical items like fidgetals, correct?
Yeah. Physical items like merchandise, like wearables, but as well as
Mm-hmm.
things you can display in your home or use as well.
Like as if like your Defi friend could be as a doll, like a
Yeah,
Funko,
totally.
like a Funko Pop, and
Yeah, exactly.
I see that being like the same concept in Antonym, and we all know how Antonym is doing right now.
Yeah, we definitely love what they're doing in this space and how they're
Mm-hmm.
bridging the gap as well.
Yep. Yeah, but
Cool.
that's all. I'm hoping
Perfect.
to get back in the community and start talking to
Totally.
everyone again. Host some
Yeah.
smash carts in VC and
Awesome. Yeah, we'll definitely get that looked for you, and we'll make sure that that gets resolved. Thank you for kind
thank
of
you,
speaking and asking your questions.
thank you.
Appreciate you.
Love to hear it. Yeah, appreciate your time. Lift off. Hopefully, we'll get that all figured out for you very soon. And then Naya, third time's the charm. Here we go. You ready? I can feel it. That mute button's gonna come off.
Oh,
All right.
okay. I think just got some feedback. Naya said she can't speak. I think there was a mistake in the request. So, yeah.
Okay, all good. Well, appreciate your time, Naya. Thanks for listening in, and we will go to Captain Larry and then Jay, and I think those will be the last two questions. Wrap it up with theirs.
Dope. Thanks so much, Jacob. First question is kind of for you guys at HQ. Just for everybody listening, this is my first time tuning into a Metaverse HQ, Twitter space. Are these questions previously fielded with the projects, or is this 100% organic? Because it sounds organic, but just for clarity.
No, we do this live, baby. All of it is, yeah, just kind of on the spot. It's good for us to learn too, right? We're excited to dig in and get the information here, and I'm sure you'll see that in some of our other Twitter spaces. You can check out the recordings on our page or our YouTube channel. But yeah, I mean, DeFi friends can verify that as well. And yeah.
Dope. No, I
Yep.
didn't. I just didn't know.
All organic.
Go. What'd you say, DeFi friends? Go ahead, man.
Oh, all I was saying is, yeah, totally organic, kind of as we go.
It's Web3, man. You just got to check. We love transparency in it. So
100%.
appreciate it big time. Follow-up question. Excuse me. Do you guys currently have, this is more so based questions geared towards the contract, to the security, basically, a lot of things that can compromise the overall integrity of the project. So it's just a three-part question. If you could answer it quickly, and then I'll hop down to a listener so somebody else can go. As far as the project, do you guys have any current advisors, like people who previously have more experience in the NFT space, that are kind of like guiding you along the way, do's and don'ts, little snippets for help? The contract, when do you guys plan on deploying the contract, verifying it, so that way the community can do its due diligence in it? Maybe if we can have like OX Bender or OK Hotshot, somebody to go through there before you guys do the launch and look for any MEV exploits, any type of exploits that could happen in the contract. And then the third question is, who's running your Discord security? Like, have you had somebody come through and audit that? Have you had the contract audited? Those things that could really, really destroy a project before it even has a chance to take off.
Yeah, totally. So first question is advisors, correct?
Yeah, do you guys have, because I know this is you and the co-founders like first time dropping the project. So I'm wondering,
Totally.
with the lack of experience in the space, who do you have advising?
Yeah, totally. So we don't have any like formal advisors that have been like appointed or like have been like officially onboarded on the project. Like I said, right now working through all of the logistics, all of the art, the pipeline there. But we're definitely working with a ton of consultants in the space. Ones we can kind of make more formal as we get closer to the date. But yeah, we're definitely working with like a lot of people to consult on primarily the security and the auditing of the smart contract, but also kind of everything else. A big portion of how we're doing informal consulting right now is, like I said, we're in direct contact with a lot of project founders, co-founders, and we're just, as they're willing to share more and more information, we have constant informal calls with them about, the contractors they use, the best practices they use. We kind of make a list of all of those. And as we implement those, we'll share those externally, internally as we can. But like I said, we're still quite a decent amount of time out, at the very least 4 weeks. So if not, more. So closer to then, we'll definitely kind of maybe make more formally the connection with certain auditors or kind of more official advisors in that sense. But even our partners at Metaverse HQ, they're amazing. We've asked, they're like, a great resource of helping us, figure out the space, even helping us host our first Twitter spaces, which has been amazing. And just having partners that are transparent, that we can have informal calls and conversations with, is what will kind of lead to, in my opinion, the safest and most secure end result. So that's the answer on that front. In terms of how far before release will we publish our contract, the plan is between 24 to 48 hours. And yeah, we already are in talks with respected auditors or security people in the space to help kind of make some of those final consultations. And then your last question is about Discord security. So yeah, like again, same thing. Like, we definitely have seen a ton of Discords being hacked. The basics like two-factor authentication, having direct lines of communication with all of our moderators and the team, of course, in case we need to have more direct conversation that's not through Discord or things we've already implemented, fail safes in that sort of sense, as well as considering, like I think the biggest learning opportunity for us is from others' experiences, because like you've said, the space is moving quickly and a lot of exploits and things of that nature. It's the first time they occur. So the only way we can get, as much feedback and as the most impactful feedback is getting kind of suggestions and best practices and learning from others' mistakes. So yeah, there's that. There's not like a specific bot or technology we can speak on at the current moment, but there are definitely projects who we're speaking to kind of figure out what they're doing as well, and we implement the things that we can and we think are suitable for our community.
That's super awesome. I guess one tip that I would say is, like, this is Web3, man. As it's all of us as a community, and we're all in it together. I think a lot of mistakes founders, developers, like the original team make originally, is they feel like the whole burden is on them. And in reality, it comes down to you to make that final decision. But if you reach out to, like, the Metaverse HQ and then other people in the community, a lot of people will donate and help out in many ways, but it simply starts with a simple reach out. So I think you'll find a lot more support in the community than expected. A lot of the founders don't do that. So I just encourage that to be as inclusive as possible, just to, give you guys overall success. The art looks dope, and you guys got a good start so far. So I'd love to see it be successful. Thanks so much for the time, guys.
Thank you for the questions. And just quickly on that note, there's a lot of conversations happening on the back end. So many people we're talking to week. So just a lot of stuff. Unfortunately, we just can't really share at the current moment. But as we can, promise you, we will share. And we definitely are not shy to reach out to people in the space who are doing great things. So, and as well as vice versa, when people reach out, we are also doing our best to go through those requests and if it is ones that are more security focused, we always listen to advice.
Oh, and one quick follow-up question. I just thought about it. So what do you said kind of idea of what you plan to do after. We see post mint that there's so many projects, like everybody's hyping up, they're grinding for the whitelist. They get in, they get the whitelist, energy and engagement die down, then mint happens, then reveal happens, and everything falls off. Like Invisible Friends, they lost over half their floor. What do you guys have in place, or what kind of activations do you have set up post mint? Like, how are you going to keep them? How are you going to retain the community? How are you going to keep the community active and involved after the reveal happens? And when people normally just kind of go idle, where they hope and pray with their PFP that they're going to get rich, what do you guys plan on doing to keep the community and attract new people to it? And then I'll switch to a listener right now, guys, and step down. Thanks so much.
Cool. Thanks for your question and all of your questions. So definitely we will be doing physical manifestations, free giveaways that are going to be directly occurring before mint, at mint, and very shortly after mint. These are just kind of fun additional additional things that we will doing. They're not obviously the only way we will work to have holder retention and keep value for the community. We have a lot of cool IRL and digital events. Again, in the spaces and in the categories and interests that we spoke on: fashion, music, food, and the tiny thing that Jin did, one of our co-founders and community members, where we did like a cool little activation in New York City. That was like a super small example of what is to come. That was one of many similar activations. To speak in further detail on like it is a roadmap, but it is almost a business plan or a plan of sorts. Our roadmap is a V1.0 that you'll see on our website. We will keep all versions of the roadmap on a medium or something similar to that. And there's checkpoints. We not only have a roadmap with intentions, we have where they are in fidelity, where they are in production, where they are in completion. There's multiple different levels of detail that will be provided on each and everything we attempt to do. And that's something that we will continue to update as an external facing resource for the community and for potential holders and holders and kind of everything in between. So that's the plan there.
Awesome. Well, yeah, some great questions there. Appreciate everyone's time coming to tune in. We are going to end it off with Jay as the last question here, as we do have another meeting in 3 minutes. So I just want to be conscious of our time and everyone else's. Otherwise, I'd love to kick it all day. But yeah, we'll let you throw it up to you, Jay.
Awesome. Thank you. Sorry about any background noise. I'm currently at work. My question is, I guess, do you personally feel that the roadmap you guys have set up is a solid one, or do you feel like there's still some liquidity to it where things may change along the way?
I mean, I think to be a realist in the space, things change every minute, every hour. Our intentions don't, though. Our intentions and what we are trying to build, will not be changing. That's what we set out to do, and we are kind of outlining the way we plan on doing that, and we'll be shedding as much transparency along the way. But if things do change, there will always be, in terms of the small granular details, implementation details, how things are rolled out, there will always be an explanation to that, and it will always be with the best intentions of the community in mind when we make those changes. So that's the whole point of even us having a V1.0 of a roadmap, because things are inevitable. This is an ever-changing space. There's so much happening, so we will continue to keep it. It's not like once the roadmap is added to, adjusted, etc., it will just disappear. There will be a proof of every single step. There will be that level of transparency shed. But to say that everything will go as planned, I think is very ambitious.
And a follow-up question, just real quick. So I know that the original release is going to be limited to 5,500 and some odd. I can't remember. Like I said, I'm at work right now. Is there a plan for later down the road? Is there plans for more releases, different collaborations? I know you said you're I know you said there are opportunities for collaborations, and you guys have spoken to a certain degree about some collaborations in the pipeline. Do you feel that there's going to be multiples along the way? Do you feel like it's going to be a year between them?
Yeah, fair. No, that's a good question. Well, definitely our plans are to continue in the space in multiple different formats, as well as dynamically adjust to what the community wants, what we are seeing, and what we are excited to work on. So definitely there will be much more to come. You know, this initial introduction and offering is just like I just said, the initial portion of what we envision. So yeah, there's definitely a lot more to come on the Web3 and Web2 and everything in between, as well as the physical world um, post mint.
Okay, well, thank you so much. Have a good one.
Appreciate the question.
Thanks, Jay. Love the superlative
Yeah.
as well. Yeah, Mitch, you want to close it up?
Sure. Yeah, thanks for coming up, Jay. And thank you, Ibrahim, for breaking it down with us. Again, it's just to clarify further, if you've been tuned in, DeFi Friends has an upcoming collection of 5,555. We don't know the mint price yet, though we will be staying attuned to it. The drop will be coming towards the end of March, and Ibrahim, feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. And yeah, we're really excited to be partnering with DeFi Friends and have them on board. Anyone that came up to speak, look out for a DM. We will be reaching out to you. Ibrahim had agreed with us prior to this to reward everyone that came up, all the community members from both Metaverse HQ and DeFi Friends, and also those who wandered in here on a interesting Monday to join our spaces and come up and speak. You will be getting an allowed spot for DeFi Friends. So thank you for tuning in, listening, and participating in both our community and the DeFi Friends community. Ibrahim, anything else to add to that?
No, that was perfect. Appreciate it. Appreciate both your guys' time, everybody that was here, everybody that contributed, everyone that's part of both communities. This is amazing, and this was super fun.
Much love, brother. Can say absolutely the same to you. It was a pleasure since me, you, and Megan Jacobs spoke a couple of weeks ago. Happy to see this your community coming to fruition, your work coming to fruition. The team is building, and yeah, we look forward to staying up to date with y'all. We've got just a heads up. We've got for the week. We've got a packed week, so. DeFi Friends kicked it with us today. We've got Weed Gang tomorrow, gang, packable for that one. We've got Paper Hands office hours for our members. Ibrahim, if you're interested in perhaps showcasing a little bit more sneak peeks with our community, we'd love to invite you for an office hours as well down the road. Paper Hands, a lot of people in Metaverse HQ should be very familiar with such a concept. And now it's going to be an NFT form. We've also got office hours with The Ticket and Kororo Beasts happening on Thursday. Friday, we've got Martian Premier League, who's actually being hosted by Zeneca right now. And then we've also got Olympus Gods this Saturday. So,
Pretty slow week, huh?
thank you for tuning in, and may your mints be merry. We'll see you in the metaverse.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, everyone. Make sure to check out the pinned post. You can check out our new website, check out DeFi Friends, hopefully get in their Discord, turn on notifications, and we will see you in the metaverse.